Gary Moore was an acclaimed Northern Irish guitarist, singer, and songwriter, widely regarded as one of the most expressive and technically gifted players in rock and blues history. Born Robert William Gary Moore on April 1952 in Belfast, Northern Ireland, he grew up during a turbulent political period but found his escape and passion through music. Moore's professional career began in the late 1960s when he joined the Dublin-based band Skid Row, which introduced him to a wider audience and allowed him to collaborate with fellow Irish musician Phil Lynott. This connection would later lead to his involvement with Thin Lizzy, where his guitar work brought a distinctive, powerful edge to the band's sound. His tenure with Thin Lizzy, though intermittent, was significant, and he played on some of their most memorable tracks. Early life. He grew up in the eastern suburbs of the city during a time of social and political turbulence. From a young age, Moore displayed a deep fascination with music, a passion that would eventually define his entire life. Although his family was not particularly musical, they recognized his interest and supported his early experiments with instruments. Gary's first exposure to guitar came at the age of 10 when he received a battered acoustic guitar. Despite its poor condition, he practiced tirelessly, teaching himself basic chords and riffs by ear. Early on, he was influenced by the sounds of Elvis Presley, The Shadows, and later the blues-based rock of artists such as Eric Clapton and Peter Green. These early inspirations shaped his understanding of melody, tone, and expression. Moore's teenage years were marked by a growing obsession with mastering his instrument. He spent countless hours listening to records, slowing them down to study each note. His dedication was intense. He often skipped social events just to practice. By the time he was in his early teens, he had acquired his first quality electric guitar, a second-hand red Gibson Melody Maker, which allowed him to explore a broader range of sounds. Skid Row. Gary Moore's tenure with Skid Row was a formative yet brief chapter in his career, showcasing his early guitar brilliance and hinting at the musical mastery he would later achieve. Moore joined the Dublin-based Skid Row in 1969, replacing guitarist Bernard Cheevers. At the time, Moore was only in his late teens, but his technical proficiency and expressive style already stood out, blending blues phrasing with rock energy. The band, founded by bassist and vocalist Brendan Brush Shields, was rooted in a mix of blues, progressive rock, and hard rock, and also featured a young Phil Lynott, though Lynott left before Moore's arrival as a full-time member. Skid Row's sound demanded a guitarist who could balance raw power with melodic complexity, and Moore fit the role perfectly. His playing brought a new dimension to the band's arrangements, with intricate solos, fluid bends, and a distinctive vibrato that hinted at his deep blues influence. Despite the creative energy, Moore's time in Skid Row was short-lived. In 1971, tensions within the band and Moore's ambition to explore different musical directions led to his departure. He briefly rejoined later for live gigs, but it was clear he was destined for broader horizons. Though just a small slice of his long career, Gary Moore's Skid Row era was crucial. It gave him his first real taste of international touring, studio recording, and the rock circuit's demands. Thin Lizzy. Gary Moore's time with Thin Lizzy was brief but left a lasting mark on the band's history and sound. His involvement came in several short stints, each during crucial moments in the group's career, and his guitar work brought a distinctive mix of technical mastery and emotional depth that complemented Phil Lynott's songwriting vision. Moore first joined Thin Lizzy in 1974, replacing guitarist Eric Bell. At that time, the band was still searching for a stable lineup and a stronger rock identity. Gary's playing style was notably more aggressive and technically advanced than many guitarists of the era, drawing on blues, hard rock, and jazz influences. However, this first tenure was short-lived, lasting only a few months. Moore's perfectionist nature and high musical standards occasionally clashed with the band's work habits, leading to his departure. In 1977, Thin Lizzy faced another crisis when guitarist Brian Robertson injured his hand in a bar fight, jeopardizing their ability to continue touring. Phil Lynott called on Gary Moore once again, this time to step in for the Bad Reputation tour. Moore adapted quickly, delivering electrifying performances that revitalized the band's live shows. His tone was sharp and fluid, and he injected an extra dose of energy into classics like The Boys Are Back in Town and Jailbreak. His improvisational skills allowed him to keep the spirit of Thin Lizzy's twin guitar harmonies alive, while still putting his own stamp on the solos. Solo career. Throughout the 1980s, Moore continued to evolve, experimenting with different styles, from high-energy rock to melodic AOR. Albums such as Run for Cover and Wild Frontier cemented his reputation as a technically gifted guitarist and a passionate songwriter. He collaborated with notable artists, including Phil Lynott and Glenn Hughes, further expanding his reach and musical depth. Moore's solo concerts during this era often blended technical precision with emotional intensity, making him a favorite among guitar enthusiasts. A major turning point came in 1990 with the release of Still Got the Blues. In the 1990s and 2000s, Moore remained dedicated to the blues, releasing acclaimed albums such as After Hours, Blues for Greenie, a tribute to his mentor Peter Green, and Close as You Get. Despite his blues focus, he occasionally returned to harder-edged rock, as seen in Scars, which leaned towards a power trio rock format. Gary Moore's solo career was defined by his constant reinvention, technical mastery, and emotional authenticity. Whether playing searing rock riffs or delicate blues phrases, he maintained a distinctive voice on the guitar. His passing in 2011 ended a remarkable solo journey, but his influence continues to inspire guitarists and music lovers worldwide, cementing his legacy as one of the most versatile and passionate guitarists of his generation.